The world already done seen what you done.
Right.
So let's come on, let's get us a guilty verdict where my family can have the rest and my son can rest in peace.
That's it.
Because you did kill him wrongfully.
Ahmaud Arbery's father is speaking out, as you heard, as we get closer to opening arguments in his son's murder trial. After 3 long weeks, there are now 65 potential jurors, and today it could chop down to 12 jurors and 4 alternates as we get it underway, and testimony could begin as early as this coming Thursday. Candace Kelley, our justice correspondent, is here to talk more about it. So, Candace, good morning to you first and foremost.
Good morning. Good to see you, Mike.
Good to see you as well. All right, so they needed 64. They ended up with 65. Took a while to actually get there to get these qualified jurors. So take us through the next phase of what this trial will look like.
So listen, the next phase, we are going to get these jurors in groups of 24, ask them more questions. The attorneys will get to go through their peremptory challenges. And really, we're just going to see how this turns out. I know that we're going to hear from a lot of attorneys. We're going to hear from the attorney that says, hey, this jury is not looking the way that it's supposed to look. At the end of the day, we have about 40 men and 25 women. According to some reports, we have about 80% of the people that are white. So, Mike, it will be interesting to see how this turns out, what this jury will look like. But again, we are narrowing down, getting more specific on the questions from the attorneys to find out, can these jurors be qualified even further through the second phase?
We'll see if the defense can get some of those Bubbas and those Joe six-packs as he's trying to get in there.
Right.
I mean, I don't know what that was all about. When it comes to those questions, though, Candace, how do you think they'll be different from the initial set of questions to get us to the qualifying stage of 64?
Well, you know, at the beginning, we started with a large group also, but here the attorneys will have the opportunity to narrow in even more. There's no time limit on how you can spend on a certain juror. You can ask them questions for 10 minutes. You can ask them questions for 50 minutes. And so in this case, you're really able to go into perhaps a juror who knows one of the McMichaels or the Arbery family, which we know there are a lot of people on this jury who do know these people. You're able to kind of narrow down a little bit more, ask them about the relationships, because that didn't necessarily disqualify them. If that was a disqualifier, we wouldn't have anybody on the jury, hardly. So at this point, you can get into the nuances of the relationships and the nuances of how they feel about this case, because a lot of people too, as we know, were pretty decided. Again, didn't disqualify them, said they were open, but you can really look these jurors in the eye, look at body language, and determine yay or nay.
Candace, yesterday I said this defense already sort of reeks of desperation. We talked about the Joe six-pack and the Bubbas and all that type of stuff. And then they also even, according to Dre Clark, was blaming the black media for some of the issues out there. And now, once again, they're bringing up the crowds that are outside. Some of the, I don't want to say pros, the demonstrators are out there that are in favor of Ahmaud Arbery. What are they saying about that now?
Listen, they're saying that they might file another motion and say that these demonstrators who are out there need to move. What they said was that somebody had made physical contact, whether it was a hug, a hello, but they got a little too close in terms of a potential juror and someone who was part of the crowd that was outside. This was considered by the judge. This person, potential juror, was actually moved for another cause, but the defense was concerned about that. There's some reports that these two are related, and so they acknowledge each other. There are also a situation where they're saying that they're going to change or want to change where the trial takes place. Now, this can happen at any point during the trial, but they're saying, listen, right now, defense attorneys are saying it's still too much, still too close to home in terms of those who are outside, rallying in support of the Arbery family and hoping that the verdict comes out one way. They're saying they're too close for comfort. They have said today they're going to file a motion to once again try to get it moved, to try to build up. They're building up these reasons once again. Let's move it. Let's move it. They have not stopped that.
So were they doing that in the beginning, Candace? From what I understand, because at the beginning of the trial, have they been doing that from the start, saying they wanted to move the trial? Because maybe I'm wrong, but I thought they were thinking that, okay, there were going to be enough people who thought like them. That's one of the reasons why they didn't want to move the trial in the first place. But if you're saying they're trying to move it, that's something new to me.
Mike, you are correct. It is new. I think somewhere along the way, when they saw this support outside, it got them a little nervous.
Mm-hmm.
When they heard how many people who were on the potential jury had really already decided that this was a crime and that the defense, those defendants, they were responsible. I mean, a lot of people had made up their minds that Ahmaud Arbery was shot and killed in cold blood and that these three defendants should go to jail. Once these defendants' attorneys found this out, they said, we need to come up with a different strategy. And that's when you started hearing these seeds being planted up. Let's move, let's move, let's move. But at first they thought, listen, hey, we're in our territory. We know our people who are out there. We know that we can find people who are on our side. But that, Michael, as you said, it's changed. Definitely different a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I know half of the potential jurors that they had selected or called in weren't showing up. Maybe half of those jurors that aren't showing up are those Bubbas and those Joe Six Packs. Like, nah, not going there.
You never know.
Got to get my beer. They don't have beer down there. I'm not going there. Not serving free beer.
You know,
not
another
going to get
thing,
involved in that.
right. That those aren't our people, right? You know, one of the things that the defense attorney they're also doing is that they want to potentially sever the case. They want to sever William Roddy Bryant from the other two defendants, thinking that, hey, he's just this person who's shooting. They feel like he has a better chance if he severs them. He doesn't want them looked at all in the same kind of pile. And they said that they're going to file that motion also. So a lot more motions coming. And a lot of setup for potential appeals coming too. That's what we're seeing now, Mike.
Yeah, I want to talk about that a little bit later. If you can join us a little bit later on the show, maybe we talk about some of those the appeals that are coming and talking about self-defense and maybe that defendant trying to separate himself and maybe even turning on the other two as well. A lot to break down with the great Candace Kelley. We appreciate you on this hump day. Once again, we'll check back in with you a little bit later on in the show. And make sure you keep it right here to BNC for up-to-the-minute coverage on this case. We have updates right here on air as well as reports on our digital channel, BNC Go.